Hi, today I'm presenting our paper on CHAITok, a proof-of-concept system supporting children's sense of data autonomy on social media. As you all know very well, technologies are really revolutionizing our lives and work today. We see AI systems pretty much everywhere these days, and if you think about it, they're also making decisions for us almost all the time. Every day, smart systems like Alexa are increasingly taking the lead in predicting what we might ask for next. Platforms like Google, Amazon are trying to guess things about us and generate targeted advertisements and news for us. Similarly, social media platforms like X and Instagram are subtly nudging us towards content they think we might like. At its core, AI systems can do all these stuff because they rely on data. They use details about us, like our names, gender, where we live, the websites we go to, the videos we watch, basically everything. They take all this information in to make guesses and decisions about us. While it's amazing to have all these smart personalized tools, but when we look around, it's clear that these AI systems are also bringing more problems. With all the information they have about us and their powerful algorithms, issues are cropping up, not just with monetization, but also behavior engineering. This is especially worrying for vulnerable groups like children, who are less defensive and subject to more severe harms. Just about 6 months ago, Alexa has been found to invade children's privacy by analyzing their information, including their names, voices, and activity data. Instagram has become the world's first case where algorithms led to the death of a teenager, as she trapped in the vortex of self-harm content pushed to her. And earlier this year, we had this congressional hearing where tech giants were grilled for not protecting children online. While there has been extensive discussion and research addressing children's online well-being, including issues like inappropriate content, addiction, stranger danger, one fundamental issue often receives less spotlight. Central to the impact of social media is the vast amount of users' data these platforms collect, granting them significant influence over their users. This process, often referred to as datafication, involves the recording, tracking, aggregating, analyzing, and capitalizing on users' data. It empowers social media giants to predict and influence children's personal attributes, behaviors, and preferences, thereby shaping their online engagement and content choices. This enables micro-targeting and subtly influencing opinions, potentially shaping how children view and engage with the world, who are in vital stages of cognitive and emotional development. Given that data is the cornerstone of social media platforms' vast influence, in this paper, we uniquely focus on examining how to support children's autonomy over their data on social media. And we're trying to explore two things. The first, what should a system supporting children's data autonomy in social media be like? The second, what can we learn from the way children perceive and interact with such a system? Then we got CHAITok, an Android mobile application designed to support children's sense of data autonomy, constructed upon the foundation of TikTok. Our aim is to explore how can we foster children's data autonomy within a social media environment that is already familiar to them. Here is a short video showing how CHAITok works. After the users log into the app, we first show them a data collection panel. In the data collection panel, the users are prompted to review and manage how their data is collected by our platform. For instance, they get to select whether they want to share their personal information, such as their gender, their age with us, whether they want us to know their interests, whether they want us to share their data with other platforms and systems. And they could easily configure all these settings by turning things on and off. After that, we start to generate content for them. The users would interact with CHAITok just as they would do on TikTok. They could click likes or could comment on the video, they could swipe up the video, and we record all their activities during these interactions. After that, we show them a data processing panel. In the data processing panel, the users get to control and manage how we process their data in our algorithms. For instance, they get to select whether they agree with our assumptions about their interests. Another type of configurations they could do include they could tell us how much they could actually control the weight of the different factors that are used in our algorithms. For instance, how much they think their personal information should matter when we recommend content for them. After that, we continue to recommend content for them, and they can see how their recommendations are changing in real time. After around another 10 to 15 videos, we will show them a data inference panel. So in the data inference panel, the users get to control and manage how different assumptions could be made about them as they were interacting with the videos online. This is really trying to get children to think about how very sensitive, personal, and even sometimes biased assumptions could be made about them just using the data they left online. So we were trying to show them very simplified assumptions, such as we think they're in certain living status because they have interacted the video in certain ways. We think they might be of certain populations because they have liked such and such videos. So these assumptions are really in place to show them a very simplified way in terms of how these very personal, sensitive, and even biased assumptions could be made about them. Here's a closer examination of the three panels. Starting with the data collection panel, you'll notice that we've incorporated various design elements to promote cognitive autonomy, to help children understand what's happening, behavioral autonomy, empowering them to make their own choices, and emotional autonomy, encouraging self-reflection on their social media experiences, understanding why things occurred and what they can do about it. And similarly, this is our data processing panel. Like I mentioned before, this is designed so that children can review and control how their data is processed to generate content for them. And finally, this is our data inference panel. This panel is designed to empower children to understand and manage how personal and sensitive assumptions could be made about them just using their data and what they can do about it. With CHAITok, we conducted user studies with 109 children aged 10 to 13. During these user studies, we aim to answer 3 research questions. The first, how, if at all, do children currently experience and perceive the handling of their data on social media platforms? The second, how does CHAITok influence children's user experience and sense of autonomy over their data? And the third, what are children's expectations towards having data autonomy on social media platforms? For each user study, we started with a warm-up session in which we played an icebreaker game with children. They toss a ball and name their favorite social media platforms. Once they were prepared, we began our first session. Children were given instructions to engage with CHAITok and interact with it. We provided activity sheets to methodically guide them through their interactions, helping them explore the app and document their thoughts and feelings. After they finished playing with CHAITok, we held semi-structured interview sessions with them to better understand their experience, thoughts, and feelings. And we got some very interesting findings. We organized the themes according to our 3 research questions. The first, children's current experience and perception on how social media platforms handle their data. The second, the CHAITok user experience. The third, children's conceptualization on what data autonomy means for them. The first, what are children's current experience and perceptions then on how social media platforms handle their data? Perhaps unsurprisingly but worryingly, nearly all the children describe their current experience as passive and disrespectful. They express feelings like they were only being able to passively fed content based on what the algorithm thought they liked, likening it to being turned into zombies. They also found their existing experience as detrimental and helpless. For example, one child mentioned suffering from sleep loss due to gaming addictions, and just like what they commented, the way the current social media works is that they prioritize content that gets the most attention and pay very little attention on how this could impact on the more vulnerable groups like children. So, knowing their existing experience on traditional social media platforms then, we're keen to know what's their experience like with CHAITok. And we're happy to see that it does bring positive signs. First, children reported a heightened sense of security, so they now feel like their data is more protected, and they directly see evidence on that. Secondly, they expressed a sense of empowerment. Some children share their struggles with body image issues in the past and believe that CHAITok provides a solution by allowing them to control what they see and being able to understand the behind-the-scenes processes of the content creation. It's not like the whole world is all about pretty girls and they can't compare to that, but it's only what the algorithms show and they can control that. They also reported a sense of respect, so they get to decide how assumptions are made about them. On the other hand, we also noticed that in some cases, children displayed an almost indifferent attitude, perceiving it as just the way things operate. Everything is about money and they need our data for money, and ultimately feeling powerless to change it. In terms of how children conceptualize what having data autonomy is like for them, first, they propose various sorts of autonomy supported features, like more data safety, more self-reflection, and they showed great interest in being able to create and control their own algorithms. Interestingly, they also dedicated a significant amount of time to defining what data autonomy means to them. They emphasized 3 key points. The first, the ability to control their own data. The second, the ability to determine how their data is used against them. And finally, they categorize data autonomy as a developmental competency that needs to be learned.
So, what we can learn from all these findings then? Well, there's more discussion in the actual paper. Here I'll just highlight the key takeaways. The first, aligning data-driven outcomes with children's personal values, rather than solely focusing on data control. The second, fostering intentional self-reflection to support evolving autonomy, rather than merely aiding impulse control. And finally, designing for children's digital rights in socio-technical systems, instead of solely focusing on digital skills development.